Hi, everybody. Welcome to another fine episode of This is the Way of Humanities. I don't have my mug because, as you can see, I'm not at home. I'm here in the classroom, which is a strange sensation without you guys, as you could probably see. It is barren. They have shoveled everything into the middle and done a deep clean on everything, got all the floors waxed. It's a little bit strange being here. It reminds me of how much I miss my job and my students. So I hope maybe seeing all this reminds you of how much you want to be back to the world, and it's coming soon. So we're told. Today's episode is going to be about anthropomorphization, which is essentially taking something non-human and assigning it human traits. Now, I hear some of you, Pablo, like you're always the first one to yell, wait, that's personification. No. Personification is giving something non-human a human characteristic. So saying, the wind howled. You're saying that it howled, it did something human-like. It's actually, the wind's not howling, it's making a noise. Yes, the noise could be described as a howl, but the storm raged. The storm feels no rage, no anger. It is just a storm. Anthropomorphization is taking that to a much bigger extreme. You see this a lot with animals, Disney movies especially. The animals are shown wearing clothing, they talk, they have jobs, and this can go to extremes where you kind of wonder, you see those episodes of a Disney movie where Donald Duck is wandering around in his little duck suit and he loses his shirt and all of a sudden he's covering himself up because he's naked, and you're like, well, you weren't wearing pants to begin with. How does that work? But that's anthropomorphization. We do this a lot. We assign animals all these human characteristics, and psychologists say that in some senses this is really good, but in some senses it can be really bad. It's good in the sense that you form empathy with other beings, with the world around you. When you can look at a dog and it licks you and you say, oh, he gave me a kiss. No, the dog's not kissing you. That is a human characteristic. You are anthropomorphizing the dog. But because you have done that, you now have empathy for the dog. You are looking at this dog as a being that is equal to you, that has intelligence and emotional traits. And this is a really good thing for going through life in an empathetic kind of a way and caring about the world around you. But it can also be a very negative thing. If you look at every year, the people that get bitten by a dog, scratched by a cat, very often it's because they treat these animals too much like they're human. Putting your face in a dog's face is not a good idea, people. And I know you say, but my dog loves me. There's been all kinds of studies that say dogs don't like being hugged. When you put your face next to theirs and you're hugging them, they interpret that in dog culture, so we're told by animal psychologists, as a weird kind of a dominance thing. They don't like eye contact. And so you do this to an animal you don't like because, oh, I'm looking into his eyes because he's human-like, anthropomorphized. No, he's not. He bites. So can be good, can be bad. But you see it happen a lot. Animals are the definite biggest thing that we anthropomorphize. Anything human-ish that you interact with, whether it's human-ish in the sense of it looks human-like or it acts human-like through its interactions. You'll hear people talking to their Alexa or their Google speaker. Hey Google, can you turn down the music 30%? And the music goes down and you say, thank you. Google doesn't care. You don't have to be nice to it. But if you do have a Google speaker, you could also call it boo-boo. I don't know why that works. It makes it even more anthropomorphized. Now it's got a nickname. You really do feel inclined to say thank you. You've anthropomorphized this thing. Traditionally in human cultures, as well as anthropomorphizing animals, we really like to anthropomorphize concepts and ideas. We do this in a religious sense, so you'll see Thor, the god of thunder, Zeus, and his lightning bolts. We anthropomorphize that weather, the storm, into a deity. Loki, the god of mischief. And you guys all know this one, or you should, because as much as education may have failed you, Marvel Comics hasn't. So, mischief, you take the idea of trouble. We love to anthropomorphize trouble and make it into this being that you didn't just have an accident, stub your toe, fall down, and break your favorite mug. Mischief came and tripped you, threw your mug on the ground, gave you a bad day. Luck, you hear people say lady luck. You anthropomorphize it, you give it a gender. Love, Cupid, little baby wearing diapers, shooting arrows. Anthropomorphization. So we see this in the graveyard book when death comes. She comes at the beginning of the book and she gets the graveyard people to accept Bod. They should show charity. And later in the book, we see this celebration downtown where death comes along. Everybody wears a little white flower on their lapel. That's this part of your coat, shirt, what have you. And death comes along. And she is described as the lady in the gray. This is a biblical thing. Death was often seen, because of the Bible, as a horseman, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and death, we are told, rode a pale horse. So Neil Gaiman has taken the concept of death riding a pale horse, turned it into a gray horse, and given her a female gender. So there we go. We can see her on her horse at the beginning of the book, the various ghosts of the graveyard around her. Now, this is pretty familiar territory for Mr. Gaiman because he has done it in the past. He wrote a series of comics called The Sandman. Excellent comic books, a little bit on the mature theme, so I'm not going to recommend you rush out and buy them without consulting your parents on what your limits are. But one of the characters in The Sandman was this lady, who was Death. So yeah, he kept to that theme that death is a lady. In The Sandman, she was this rather goth-looking young lady, which is appropriate because the comic was way back in the 90s. So that would have been a cultural touchstone that people could relate to. You will often see this in anthropomorphization. We anthropomorphize to our own culture. So with the 90s and this concept of goth look and that link, he took that and made that death. He did not just do death, however. He did a whole family. Let's see if we can see them all here. The series was called The Sandman. We have the titular character, which means who it's named after, was the Sandman or Dream. Here beside Dream, this is the family. We have Death, already seen. Next to Death, we have Desire. Beside Desire, you'll notice she's strange because she's got red hair. She is Delirium, who used to be Delight, but went a little bit crazy, and that's what changed her hair color. I don't know how that works. Beside her, we have Despair, not a pleasant-looking character at all. Next to Despair, we have our other redheaded character. His hair color changed to a reddish brown because he quit his job. He was Destruction, decided he no longer wanted to be the destroyer, and quit. And then Destiny, who all cultures have seen. If you read Norse mythology, Destiny is often shown as not destiny but the fates, in which case it is not one but three destinies, the fates. And one of them spins the thread of your life, the other one weaves it, and the third one cuts it off. So a little bit of personification of death again there. We will often see the classic image of death as, should I Google the picture and show you on my laptop? The classic death wearing the hooded cloak. Watch this, guys. All I have to do is Google death. Let's see how fast it comes up. And click images, and I'm going to right away, but first page, I find that classic image of the Grim Reaper. So, anthropomorphization. We take these big ideas, we turn them into people. That is what you are going to do. You're going to have 2 assignments for me. One is going to be to start by anthropomorphizing something. It could be death, as in the book, or you could do something else. I would suggest big ideas like the endless dream, despair, destruction, destiny, or you could look at other ideas throughout the world: luck, chance, mischief, love. You could also go your own way. Feel it out what you are comfortable with. Email me if you have any concerns, if you think you've got a great idea but you're a little bit worried about it. I'm happy to hear from you guys. I try and answer your emails quickly. So, job number 1, create an anthropomorphization. So maybe you go with death. Draw me a picture of what your death looks like. Job number 2, once you have your anthropomorphization, you've drawn a picture, you are going to take a picture of that, email it to me. You are going to then do an interview with your anthropomorphization. So you are going to ask them maybe, how do you enjoy your job? What's it like being death? What is the worst thing you've done as death? Those are just 3 examples. In the assignment that is posted on the D2L, I have given you 10 sample questions. Feel free to use those or make your own. When you are doing those sample questions, please, please, please bear in mind, I want complete answers. No yes, no answers. Give me complete sentences. I would suggest 2 to 5 sentences per question is appropriate. I'm going to post those up onto the D2L. I hope you guys enjoy this. It's something to have a little bit of fun with. I will also post up a video from an old television series that anthropomorphized death, and it had a wonderful, wonderful intro that showed a whole bunch of death as the Grim Reaper, living life, doing their laundry, playing basketball, fun stuff. I think you guys will get a laugh out of it. Have some fun with this. Seriously think about what you would like to anthropomorphize. Death is the easiest one because we've seen 2 examples, one that you've read directly about and another that you know Neil Gaiman did. You've also seen the Grim Reaper that we all know. But as Gaiman did, you could see how this would be easy to create a whole family. If you look through mythology, you'll see a lot of this. Various mythologies have their god of weather, god of the ocean, god of the underworld. Greek mythology, you have like Zeus being the uber god, and we've got Athena as the god of wisdom, Ares as the god of war. All you got to do is read Percy Jackson. You can cheat. Again, he hasn't failed you. Have a little bit of fun with it. If you want to do a godlike being, that is also fine. Like I say, if you have any concerns, please email me. And other than that, I'm going to go and enjoy my classroom for a little while. Actually, I'm probably going to put together your assignment in a nice neat form, start uploading it all onto the D2L and put an announcement there. I meant to have this done yesterday, but I might have mentioned it's a holiday yesterday. May the 4th be with you. I was going to do a video just for that, but I decided I'd wait and show you the classroom today. So I look forward to seeing your responses. I look forward to some feedback in the comments down below. Don't be afraid to do it. I love seeing it. If you've done it, you know that I try and reply. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. And remember, this is the way of humanities. Bye, guys.